I must say this morning that I strongly disagree with those preachers who today are misusing their pulpits to advocate for a certain party or candidate as a way of challenging the IRS regulations. From 2005 to 2007, in our own sojourn with the IRS, to speak euphemistically, All Saints was always preaching a core set of biblical values: peacemaking, justice for the poor, inclusion of the disenfranchised or the outcast. When preachers misuse the pulpit to encourage their congregants to vote for a certain candidate or a certain party, they've turned their church into a partisan organization. And I believe that such behavior is a perversion of religion, to make it the servant of a candidate or a party more than a servant of making tangible God's values. You can put religious lipstick on a partisan organization and it's still a partisan organization. Preachers who tell you for whom to vote and who become instruments of partisanship have thus relinquished their freedom to evaluate prophetically all candidates and all parties using the plumb line of the House of Love. Dr. King said that the church is neither the master of the state nor the servant of the state, but the critic of the state. And these preachers are abandoning their freedom to be a critic of the state when they align themselves with one party or one candidate. Gauging oneself by a partisan political measure instead of a prophetically political measure is an impediment for all of us focusing on the main thing, which is accessing the divine spirit within each of us so that we can make tangible God's love in the unique ways God needs each of us to live. Don't ever think that God doesn't need you and the unique way in which God made you to be. God wired each one of us uniquely, because God knew that God could not turn the human race into the human family without each one of us stepping up in our unique, differentiated ways. And if we have a preacher telling us how to vote, that gets in the way of that process. Tonight at our membership class that we begin, called Covenant One, we will speak of more of all this, particularly how All Saints is committed to becoming a community that helps people access the divine within and then making God's values tangible in the world. And in closing, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that today is Celebration of Ministries Sunday. All of our varied ministries are represented at tables on the lawn. As an act of faith, as a spiritual exercise, I would love for you, please, before you get in your cars to leave, for you to wander among the tables and let the divine within speak to you, call to you about where you might need to invest your energies this program year. But hear me. This sermon is about Celebration of Ministry Sunday, but it is not only about Celebration of Ministry Sunday, it is about every day. Every day. Be aware of the divine speaking within you to use you to turn the human race into the human family. Live so. God can use you anywhere, anytime. God, it is God who is at work within you. Amen.